Well, hi there, guys. This is your host, ID Jester. This is going to be just a quick video just to give you guys kind of an update on some changes I decided to make after our Internet Baseball League game the other night. So we're doing the 2000 Oakland A replay. Ran into some problems with Internet Baseball League, and the games weren't turning out very. Um, the games are good. It just seemed like things were a little bit out of whack. So I actually got on and subscribed to become Dynasty League subscriber, and I was actually comparing some of the cards between Internet Baseball League and the Dynasty League baseball cards for some of the same players, just to see if some of the statistics are a little off or whatever, because it seemed like um, we weren't getting a lot of really good hits at the time and giving up lots of hits and stuff. And the cards are pretty similar-ish, I would say. So the ranges of getting singles and doubles and stuff were pretty close on a lot of the players. I just, checked over. I didn't check every single player, obviously. Just checked a couple of them just to see what the stats lines are. So what I decided to do was I don't want to have to play the whole 2000 Oakland A's. It's just going to be too much work and too much effort. It does take a lot of time for me to get all the cards and get everything organized and everything. So what I decided to do was cut this down into something that's manageable, right? So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be playing the 2000 Oakland A's. But what we're going to do is we're just going to play the last month of the season. So September 1st um, game, which happens to be their 133rd game of the season. So we're going to play 133 through game 161, and we're going to see where we end up after that. So that's pretty manageable. That's only about 30 games. Um, and if we look at the actual records going into game 133, was it 133, 132, whatever game it was, in the East, Yankees have a 5-game lead over the White Sox. In the Central, the White Sox, I'm sorry, the Yankees have a 5-game lead over the Red Sox. In the American League Central Division, the White Sox have a 7-game lead over Cleveland. And in the West Division, Seattle has a 2.5-game lead over Oakland going into September. So we're going to see if we can continue Oakland's comeback in 2000 season to see if we can uh, beat out Seattle. Seattle will keep the same record because we're not playing any of those games. So we have to equal our September record. Let's see if it'll actually tell us what our September record was. I think it does somewhere in here. It's just a matter of finding it, right? So, scheduling results. It might be on that page actually. Let's see. Um, Here it is. So they were wow, they were 21-7 in September. They scored 198 runs and only gave up 88 runs. So we're going to have to try and duplicate that to get a half-game final result over Seattle. So 21-7. So that means we have 28 games in September we need to play, and one in October, which we were 1-0. So that's 22-7 record. Um, and we'll replay it and see. And if we start getting behind the 8 ball too far or whatever, it doesn't look like we can do it because 22-7 record is going to be pretty hard to do. But we're going to try to duplicate their record there. Let's take a look at the lineup here. So we have 4 games against Toronto, in Toronto, a couple games at Boston, and then we have 4 games against Tampa Bay at home, 2 against Minnesota at home, Then we have 2 on the road against Tampa Bay. 1, 2, 3, 4-game series against Baltimore on the road. 1, 2, 3, 4-game series against Seattle. Obviously, that's going to be a big one. We're going to have to sweep that. It looks like Oakland actually won 3 of the 4. So we're going to have to at least get 3 or 4 there. Anaheim, 4 games at Anaheim at home, and then end the season 3 games against Texas, which looks like we swept Texas as well. So you can see, month of September is going to be a tough one. Only 7 losses: 1 to Toronto, 1 to Boston, 1 to Tampa Bay, 1 to Minnesota, 1 to Baltimore, 1 to Seattle, 1 to Anaheim, and that is it. So we're going to try and duplicate that. So we are going to be using our Internet Baseball League. I am going to be using Ball Score as well. This way, it'll actually keep the stats and everything for me for September, so you will be able to keep track of who the hot hitters are, what kind of statistics they're getting in September, and all that. So that will be fun. It'll be easier for me. I've been just all the work and effort just to go in to these replays it's a lot of work to create a card and dice version on the computer. So getting the cards, getting the lineups, naming all the cards, getting them in the proper position, and then importing all this stuff into Ball Score, and then getting all that stuff into Ball Stat. So it'll keep track of all of our statistics. So anyways, game number, what did I say it was? Game number 133 is where we're starting to game 161. We did not play on 162, so we save a game there. So what is that about? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 games. So just under 30 games. I figured it was around 30. So 29 games. Quite a daunting schedule, of course. I do have their run ratings, their air ratings, and their range ratings, and also their throw ratings already programmed in. Again, that's something I got to go in and manually enter all that data in. It takes quite some time to do all this stuff on the side. So I think that's one of the issues I was having in the beginning was just, it was, we had played 4 or 5 games in the beginning of the season, and it was like, oh my God, I've still got 155 games to go. And it was just too overwhelming. So now that I've cut it down, I think hopefully I can, 30-game series, take a couple months to go through and complete, but I think it'll give us something to watch, especially with that record. And obviously, I think it'll be something doable and manageable. And I'm just trying to think of best ways to save time and effort on my part so I don't get burned out, frustrated, or, upset about what's going on. So with Oakland in the race, some teams won't be in the race, so they might not be playing their best players or whatever. Maybe we can duplicate the 22-7 record they had in September and the 1 game in October, but it'll be quite a feat. So that's what I decided to do. Looking for thoughts, comments, suggestions, anything you guys can think of that might make it a little easier for me. I think the Ball Score does a good job. Plus, it lets you import everything into the Ball Stat, which will be able to keep track of all of the different stats for us. So you'll see when the players come up, they'll have their averages and hitting and walking and all that stuff in there. So we can keep track of how they're doing in September. And then at the end, we can compare our last 29 games versus the real life 29 games. We're 2.5 games behind Seattle. We ended up going 22-7. Seattle must have went about 20-9, 18-10, maybe somewhere around there. They didn't lose very many games either because we're 2.5 games down, and we only won by half a game at the end of the season. So we have to make up 3 games. So if we went 22-9, that means they were, or 22-7, that means they were 18-10. So they were won 2/3 of their games as well. So, anyways, I think it'll be manageable and doable. I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys and let you guys know what was going on if you're interested in watching this unfold. That'd be great. All right. Well, we will see you with game number 1. That will not be tonight. I just finished up setting everything up. It's almost midnight already. But you can see we've got things ready to go for game number 1. This will be Oakland at Toronto. Starting pitchers will be for Oakland, Mark Mulder, the lefty, going up against Joey Hamilton, the right-hander, in Toronto. So let's see if we can get things started off with the win when that comes. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next when we get to play the first game. All right, take care. See ya.